No, Pádraig Coakley.
Yeah.
King of the cornermen.
Yeah.
Because you've been doing a lot of work during lockdown.
Yeah, done 40 odd, 50 corners. Kev Maree's been keeping me busy.
Well, you are probably better known as Kev Maree's right-hand man.
Yeah, I've known Kev since 2007. He had Cal Frampton at the time. He trained Cal for the first 9 fights.
Because a lot of people don't know that, do they?
They don't know it, no, and he looked after him really well. He put him up. He did a lot for him, and he had him for the first 9 fights. Trained him up at the Stirk House at the time, and it was supposed to. He's a top trainer, is Kevin. Everything he's done with fighters, he's done amazing. Do you know what I mean? So Kevin he's not training anymore. He's managing, and it's just took off like a rocket, hasn't it? It's over 100 fighters.
I think I don't know if you got the idea before lockdown or during lockdown, but he went from being almost not in the business. Because he retired he was going to run the Stirk House, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Where he had his gym.
And
he was going to run the hotel there and everything. But the next thing is, during lockdown, I think he must have had big plans. And it seems like they come to fruition now, because
anything that Kevin puts his mind to, he's successful at. Because that hotel was down and out when he got it, and he turned it into, it was mad busy. You know,
because it was in the middle, it was a beautiful place.
Beautiful place,
in the absolute middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and like it was his first fighter that he managed. I think would be Mark Heffron, because he got his manager's license then. So to go from one fighter to over 100 in the space.
Is that how many he's got now?
Over 100, yeah.
I tell you something, a huge matchmaker now, one of the biggest.
Matchmaker, he's everything. He's everything, and keeps me busy anyway. You know, he's doing a deal with Fight Zone. Like Fight Zone's just kicking off. We were lucky to get that in the car park, fighting in a car park, but it was a great arena, like, if you will. I was out there. I was in Sheffield for 8 weeks non-stop. I think the fight of the year, Neil McCubbin against Matt Windle. I thought that would be the fight of the year for this year already.
Yeah, well, I think the one for me at present, I remember that fight, but is the Sam Higginson against.
Channel 5, that was, everyone's seen that, haven't they? You know, but because it was on Fight Zone, a lot of people want to seen that fight. So it's gonna.
But there was a lot of people talking about that one. I spoke to Aki because he was down there at the night, and he was saying what an absolute fantastic fight.
It was just switching from different sides. You didn't know I was stood with Anthony Croller at the time. He's like, who've you got? It was just crazy, you know.
But going back to that, that's one thing. The most consistent thing in Mark Heffron's career is Kev Maree.
Yeah,
and you?
Yeah, me and Kevin, we've been with him through thick and thin. You know, he's a great guy. He's my best friend. You know, I'm the closest person in boxing, and we speak to each other every single day. And Kevin's done some good things for him. You know what I mean? I know the Williams fight didn't work out, but it worked himself. Everyone knows that I've been to Poland with Mark myself. And he was sparring Magic Selecki for the Daniel Jacobs fight. And Paul Mann from Black Country Boxing said, you have to calm him down. He's going to stop this kid. And he was fighting Daniel Jacobs, and he only lost by 3 points in America off an American judge. So
in fact, is Mark out next
Saturday?
Next Saturday.
Yeah.
Because we weren't sure, because his mother died just a few weeks ago, didn't she?
He made the decision. That's what his mum would have wanted, because she was so proud of him with his boxing. And he had a deep think about it, and then he's gone ahead with it. There was actually a 10-bell count.
One of their own, Laura Heffron. Laura is the Bosworth mother of the famous Heffron boxing family from Oldham, which has produced boxing champions in Ronnie and Mark Heffron. And this evening we wish to pay our respects and pay tribute to Laura with a boxing family 10-bell salute.
Yeah, there was that last weekend.
Show, yeah. So we sadly missed, but you know, he was very close to his mum.
Well, if there's one play, that's going to be a very, very busy night next Saturday.
It's going to be rocking. There's a few lads on it. Henry Wharton, he's spitting out pros left, right, and centre. You know, I think the boxing up north is unbelievable at the minute. The trainers are great. Henry Wharton, what a fighter he was, and he's got a few lads on next week.
Well, let's go back to you then, because like I say, I've been doing this for 8 years for Steve Wood.
Yeah.
And I've always seen you in the background.
Yeah.
You've always been in the change rooms, or even if you're not in the change, you're always at the shows
I
watching.
used to go to shows all over the place. Every weekend I was at a show.
Were you a bit of a scout for?
Yeah, I just like the first one that I did any dealings with was Ryan Burnett. He was the Olympic youth medalist. He was, I think, in my opinion, he was Ireland's best ever amateur.
It's got to be between me and Michael Frampton, wasn't it?
Yeah, but because he turned pro at 18, if you could imagine him going on to, if he stayed amateur, he would have been, you know, phenomenal. But with Ryan, he come over to Manchester, and I got asked to look after him, and everything was going okay. And then I remember where I was on that time. I got a phone call. He'd failed his medical, his brain scan, and then his career was over. Over before it begun.
But you didn't want that,
I didn't want it, no. I remember getting a call off Richard Boxton, and he says, why are you getting his kid's hopes up? He's not going to box, and that's the end of the story. And I was with Ryan at the time, and I said, it can't be. He had 98 amateur fights and won 94. That's unheard of, really. You know, and I couldn't work out how it... So anyway, I put my head together, and we were trying to do different things. And Ricky Hatton, he stood by Ryan. He could have said, as soon as he got that letter, he could have said, no, that's it, that's the end of it. But he didn't. You know, Ricky Hatton really looked after him. I mean, he paid him a wage, which a lot of trainers don't do. Bought him a brand new car, got him somewhere to live. I think he stayed in in Ricky's house. You know, and he did. Ricky stood by him. And we got a phone call saying it was off from Robert Smith, and then I approached the doctor in America. No, that's the one in Manchester. I was with Ryan, and this doctor in America, we put all the information. I still got all the paperwork. Put all the information into to this doctor. It was online, and then he said, yeah, he can box. But that gave us the light then. We thought, well, if he can say it in America, why can't he say it in the UK? So then we went to Dr. Dick. And when I'm walking into Ricky's gym and saying, I found a doctor and he's called Dr. Dick, they thought, this guy's off his nut. But no, me, Ricky and Ryan went down to see Dr. Dick. And we showed him the reports from the American neurologist. Told him Ryan's history. And it was that they had to do a dye test to see if the blood flows in the brain, and it rerouted round. And long story short, we got him his license. Do you know what I mean? But it ended sour, really, because
a lot of stories like that in boxing.
There is, yeah. I don't hold any grudges. Do you know what I mean? The one thing he did do, he when he won the IBF, I think it was, he sent me a lovely text, and we're friends to this day, so that's the main thing. You know
let's go to this, because this Irish connection, obviously.
Yeah.
You, I know you're born over there, but you've got a big family back Ireland.
Yeah.
I presume Kev has got an Irish connection.
He's a dub, and we're a yellow belly Wexford.
But it's weird, because the two fighters you just mentioned then, in Ryan and Carl, both started their careers in England boxing.
Yeah, because the scene in like the north at the time, or even in the south, wasn't really. It was like, do you know, if you have to make something of your career, you've got. At the time, it was like you've got to hit America.
Yeah.
Well, for Ireland, they had to hit the UK to make a name for themselves. You know, because there wasn't much going on. MTK weren't around at that time. Yeah, Brian Peters, I think he was called. who had Bernard done. That's the only one I can think of. Do you know what I mean? Who was around at that time?
I mean, like I say, I mentioned it I think before. You're a little bit of a scout because I know you go to, even if you're not involved with the show, you're always on there watching and keeping an eye open for people and bringing them to Kev's attention.
I've sent a few.
How did Carl to start his career, and Ryan, was that a connection with yourself?
No, it weren't through me. That was through Kevin. Kevin was training, and it was through Pádraig Wigan, and Barry actually promised Kevin the earth. Do you know what I mean? And it didn't. It did him for the first 9 fights, and it didn't fulfil what he said he was going to do, because obviously he left then and then went on to other things. But Cal still got a good relationship with Kevin, you know. But obviously, Cal sued Barry McGuigan in the end. You know what I mean? So that's how that ended up.
But you're what? You're 32 now.
32, yeah.
And you've been involved in boxing since you about 17 years
17, old? Yeah. I was a massive Michael Gomez fan because he was known locally as in my town. He was going in the bars and all that, you know. And
in every town he'd be going.
I know. It's mad because we work with his young son now. You know what I mean? So Kevin had after the Khan fight, Gomez was done really. But Kev got 3 wins out of him, and then he got a shot at the Commonwealth title against Ricky Burns, and we sold loads of ringside. I sold loads of ringside tickets for that. Walking through Bella Houston Park it was, and walking through with all the sombreros on and all that. Lucky didn't get our heads kicked in, but that was the main one. But he didn't. He got stopped in the 7th, and I actually become good friends with Ricky Burns after that. You know.
That's the great thing about boxing, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's just a general. You know, like the weigh-in for that. It went off big time, but that happened with every Gomez fight. Do you know what I mean? It was used to nut put his head on the lockers, didn't he? You know, before he went out fighting.
Well, so. I mean, going back to yourself again, I presume you must count yourself really lucky because at the beginning of I mean, you're involved in a sport you love being involved with, and at a level now that I presume. Yeah,
I followed some of the greats like Jamie Moore. Went all over the place following him. He was a good one. You know, I went up to Sunderland to watch Jamie Moore and watched him against Picarillo.
That was Robin Park, wasn't it?
Robin Park Arena, yeah. So I followed a few fighters at that point, but I was at a show every week. So if I picked up Brian Rose, if I found someone, it's just so approachable in it, boxing. Do you know what I mean? If you approach someone, next minute you're your friend, and that's it. So that's how it went. I was just going shows.
But what I was going to try and get back to there is because 2 years ago, at the beginning of lockdown, you were almost at death's door.
I was, yeah. I was in my area first person to get COVID on the 10th of March. It was a pandemic on the 1 o'clock on the 10th of March. They put me in a coma at 2 o'clock on the 10th of March. It was crazy. Do you know what I mean? And I was in a coma for 7 days, and then I got better. But I do believe if I would have gone in, say, with the same thing now, I wouldn't even have stayed in overnight. No. It was just panic at the time.
But you was in that high risk category.
High risk, yeah.
You had liver issues, didn't you?
Yeah, kidney.
As an Irishman.
Yeah. Irish virus. We used to drink a lot, so that was why that happened.
But that's all cleared up.
All cleared up, all good. Yeah. And it's something that I love doing, and it's good that Kev and Fight Zone and Dennis Hobson and any other shows that they're right, you're here this week. You know, sometimes I don't even know where I'm going. Like I'll just say I'm on a show on Saturday, but I don't know where it is. I think it's Sheffield or Bolton or wherever.
So I presume next Saturday is going to be.
Oh yeah, next Saturday will be a busy night. We've got a full squad coming down. Henry Wharton, Ron Opley. We have a good giggle, you know. We're in the bubble together in Sheffield.
I used to love watching Henry Wharton.
Yeah, he's strange fella. That's what we say to each other. But but just in the north at the minute, north of England, the boxing is absolutely booming because the trainers we've got Michael Jennings, Dave Jennings, who's brilliant. You got Joe Gallagher, Ricky Hatton is doing well at the minute. Brad Ray's there with Blaine Eunice and
Blaine's
Ricky.
got a big fight at the same night that your show's on.
Yeah, and then you've got the list is endless. Do you know what I mean? Alex Matvienko.
It's quality. I'm fortunate to visit all.
You
these
get to
gyms.
go to them, and I go down. You know.
And Robert Rimmer.
Well, Phoenix Camp is the most. I think is the most busiest gym at the minute because of this. Because Kevin manages most of the lads, and my opinion, the most up and coming kid is Josh Holmes, and he's in that gym.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But there's another lad there. It's going to be announced, I believe, on Monday. But he's got a huge fight. Jack Massey's got a huge fight.
Yeah. I know about it, but I can't.
I know. We can't say anything because it's probably going to go out tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I think the next day it's going to be announced, and it's a huge fight in Bolton as well.
So they've. You know, I think there's got to be about 12 fighters in there. Do you know what I mean? And we've got the Turkish Tyson on next Saturday.
He's a real prospect.
Yeah, I watched him spar Lyndon Arthur the other week.
Diaz. Dennis.
Yeah. We call him the Turkish Tyson, but he sparred Lyndon Arthur and he did well against Lyndon. Lyndon's like up there, isn't he?
He is.
And Mark's back. Hopefully he can. Well, I know he'll get a win hopefully, and then get into title contention again where he belongs. He seems to be settling in with Joe Gallagher. I speak to him every single day, and
hopefully this will be his last trainer.
Yeah.
Because this is where he started. Joe Gallagher's where he started.
Yeah, he started at Joe Gallagher, so he's done a big circle, hasn't he? You know what I mean? But he's had some good trainers along the way. Phoenix Camp, Michael Jennings, the list is endless.
Well, 1 second, let's go back to this and you, because we're at the Love Gym.
The Love, yeah.
What is it? Is it Front and Stop?
Rosendale Love ABC. It's the only England boxing affiliated gym in the area of the borough.
Well kitted out, isn't it?
It's all kitted out. It's got everything.
3 rings.
3 rings. Paddy Canellan, who runs the gym, he's so good. We've took kids to Sweden. We've got gold medals over there in King of the Ring for Europe. And Paddy puts a lot of his own money into this gym. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's all for the kids, and the lads. And we've had success.
It's sad, because the highest level of boxing, there's a lot of money. But at grassroots where we are now, there's nothing, and if it wasn't for the time that these men put into it, basically they're all doing it for free. And as you just said, Paddy's probably putting his own money into
Paddy
this.
Canellan's, he's just walked in now. Paddy does a lot for the community. Just look around you.
Fighting family though, isn't it?
Yeah, the Canellans, they're well known, but you only have to look around you, the back room and everything that's going into the gym. And you get up to, what would you say, Paddy, about 40 kids on a Tuesday?
Paddy, sit in for the last minute if you want. If we just talking about them, you want to sit in?
Yeah, he's behind the scenes type of guy, is Paddy. So so my boxing's been flat out, but I'm just buzzing that I'm so busy. To do 50 odd corners, that's crazy, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? In a pandemic as well. And
the thing is, I know we said king of the journeyman corners, but it's not, because like you say, the meeting you just mentioned.
Yeah, there was and you get like where you used to have to buy a ticket to go to a show. You're in the corner now. Do you know what I mean? And there was one kid that stood out for me.
So as a boxing fan, this is your dream as well?
Dream, yeah. And you know what? There was a show in Sheffield the other week. And there was a kid that stood out, Levi Giles. I don't know if you watched it.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He didn't get it. It was class. I think he's Cal Greaves' lad.
He is.
And
he's fought on our shows a couple of times when we
what a kid
shows
he's going to be.
But I think he's 10-0 now. I think he is, isn't he?
Something like that. But I watched him, and he says, "How did the box?" And he weren't like sure about it. And I thought, it's an exhibition. It was class. Yeah. He didn't get it. No, but the friends I've got in boxing is amazing. Do you know what I mean? you know, my Facebook's full of just boxing people.
Yeah, because when you were on your deathbed, or what we thought it was on your deathbed a few years ago,
people were flying in and everything. It was crazy, and then you know, John Fury's always on the end of the phone and stuff like that, you know, and it's good because I think Tyson Fury's like the Muhammad Ali of my generation.
Well, that's happening tonight then. So
yeah, that is going to
predictions?
happen. I think. Now, I could be totally wrong, but because I've said it to a few people, but I think Fury's going to get him out early. Yeah, first 4 rounds. I think
You think he's going to do a better job than he did the last time?
Yeah, I think Wilder, because the first fight, Fury shouldn't have been really in the ring.
No, he shouldn't have.
Do you know what I mean? He just lost 10 stone and he was still a bit flabby. The second fight, it just made a mockery of him. And I think the third fight, he's going to get him out early and that'll be that. And then AJ is...
Do you think AJ can beat Usyk?
Again,
In the rematch?
in the rematch, it was funny because that fight, I think Joshua was static, and then if you watched it, his head movement,
loose, wasn't he? I know.
it was like Usyk's head movement was non-stop, and then from about round 6 or 7, Joshua trying to do the same as him.
No, but actually, for me, my take on it, in rounds 5 and 6, which I think everyone thought AJ won, it was because he was on the back foot and he was allowing Usyk coming forward. And when Usyk was coming forward, he was catching him. But when he was chasing him in the rounds earlier and afterwards, that's when he was missing himself and walking onto shots.
Yeah, he ran out of ideas because Usyk was just like. Just slipping and sliding, and you can't hit what's not there. Do you know what I mean? And he was missing me a lot of shots.
That's why you would have thought they would have told him to target the body a little bit.
I know, but my take on it was that he thought it's working for Usyk, so I'm going to start doing it. But it was too late. Do you know what I mean? And if that was a 15-round fight, he nearly had him out in the 12th, didn't he? You know, I don't know the injury what he had. Did he have a broken socket or anything like that at the end, or was it just a?
AJ? I don't know, man. I don't know.
I heard. I don't know if it's social media or whatnot, but yeah. And then we've got Liam Smith, and Fowler this weekend. It's my weekend off from boxing.
And you almost.
There's 3 shows on.
And we're also BT got a good one as well.
I know.
With Brad Foster.
I know.
And Jason Cullen, because when Jason beating the Yafal brother, when he was it the European title he won. It was just a fantastic performance.
Yeah.
And another one of those fantastic stories in boxing. You know, 31, 2 years prior, his career was almost over.
Yeah.
I think Michael Conlan beat him, didn't he?
Yeah.
And stopped him late on. And he was almost going to quit boxing.
Yeah.
But actually, the only times he really got beat was when he moved up past super bantamweight. At super bantamweight, I think he's unbeaten.
Yeah, that's the good thing about the boxing game. Like the legends you had in the past, are now classed as friends. Do you know what I mean? I was down at Ricky Hatton's gym the other week. I was watching him all the time, every fight.
I suppose you're like me then, you know, because we were boxing fans before we were involved in boxing, and now, you know, we get to
go around, and it's just and then get to help out with the kids. It's giving something back, and you know, it's just living the dream. Do you know what I mean? And I've been asked to do another license. But I'm just happy with what I'm doing at the minute, you know, and I'll be back out next Saturday. It's going to be rocking in there.
I'm going to be filming it, so
I know it's going to be a sellout, that, you know.
Well, any time Heffron fights in his hometown, it's a sellout, isn't it?
Yeah, but there is other big ticket sellers on it as well, so it will be a great show.
It was good actually. It was hammered last time as well, wasn't it?
They were hammered, yeah, but that was Jake Andrews. Salford took over Oldham.
Yeah, Jake Andrews, he did really well.
Dirty old town.
But the thing is with that place is... See you later.
See you later, Paddy.
And you, mate. Take care. With that place, normally it's only half the arena is opened up on boxing nights. Most of the times I've been there, it's been half it, but the whole arena was opened up, and it was.
Well, imagine like being in the top tier at the MEN, and then you're a fan and you're in the top tier because you can't afford the tickets down in lower tier or the floor.
It doesn't matter where you're there. You've always got a good view, haven't you?
But I used to go and I would be in the top tier, and but now.
You're in the corner.
You're in the corner in a packed out arena. MEN. Do you know what I mean? And that's how it's changed. So people used to say like, "Oh, you're giving too much to boxing and all that," but one day it'll pay off, and at the minute it's paying off big time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
hopefully I'll be down there, like I say, on Saturday.
Saturday's going to be a really good show. You'll have
something to celebrate there, hopefully, with
Mark
coming back.
Mark will be back. Big
with a
bang, big bang. I think it will be a big bang as well, and then hopefully it'll be my first corner.
Well, that'll be Mark's first fight since when he had to retire because of his eyes, Denzel Bentley.
Yeah. Denzel Bentley, he won the first fight easy.
I thought he did.
Yeah, he won the first fight. I don't know how that could become a draw, but
the damage was done in the first round with almost the first punch.
It's weird because I've never ever seen Mark, and I've been all over with Mark, like in different gyms and stuff. And
he looks like a bit like Mayweather when he gets out of a fight. He's normally unblemished, isn't he?
He doesn't have a mark on him, and then all of a sudden this come up. It's never happened. I don't know where it come from. Do you know what I mean? And obviously Bentley was just pinging it then, you know, as you would do, you know. Mark's got the talent. You know, everyone knows that Mark's got the talent, but it's getting it into the ring for him. Do you know what I mean? And hopefully Joe can get the best out of him now, and he can get some good titles.
Right. Well, hopefully that begins again on Saturday for him.
Yeah. And
I'll be seeing you in the corner somewhere or behind the scenes.
I'll be in the corners. I'll be busy. Kevin will tell me. I don't even know which corner I'm doing, but I know I'm doing corners. So I'll be doing corners on Saturday, and then the shows are just coming thick and fast. Do you know what I mean?
I like to say from nowhere to where Kevin is now, he's done amazing.
Kevin's a very clever guy. But he's there. He puts the boxers first. If the boxer has any issues, they can just ring him straight away. He'll pick up. You know what I mean? A lot of them. And if you're not happy with him, say you're not happy with what's going on, what Kevin's doing for you and stuff like that, he'd release you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's not one of them who say, no, you're under contract and that's it. You know. And he always says that, because what Kevin would do would say, well, what part have I played in this? What part have I done wrong, so I can learn from it? And no one's left him yet, so he hasn't done anything wrong. You know, and he's just busiest guy. Like, if you think about it, he's got contacts to every single, you know, promoter and stuff like that.
Well, that's the good thing about it, because he's matchmaking now for a lot of promoters. He matchmakes for Pat. Obviously, Frank Duffy, who does a lot of the shows.
Frank Duffy,
these are all people that he can get his fighters out on. If not as the home fighter, certainly as the away fighter. And,
you know, definitely. I've done some away corners, and I always say, like people said, you get embarrassed when they've got a record of like 1-9, lost 100 or something like that. Don't at all. It doesn't bother me. I'd do a journeyman's corner on a small old show, or I'd do.
Listen, any journeyman that gets to 100 fights becomes a centurion. They're special fighters themselves.
Yeah, that's it. I've done loads of journeyman's corners, and they deserve the same respect as what the opposite corner does, you know. And if they've got a winning record and they've got a losing record, I treat them all the same. If it wasn't for those
journeymen,
boxing won't survive.
The guys who become champions perhaps might not be champions.
I think
the lessons you learn from these guys
I think the maddest walkout I've ever done is with Lewis Van Pooch.
Oh,
did you see it? Yeah, did you see it with the football?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's brilliant, isn't he?
He said, come on, are you ready to go on? And the match of the day string come on, and I thought, oh no, but he's a character, do you know what I mean? And Chris Gargano's doing well, and there's a few others that are doing well with Dale Lara Smith. I think he got a win actually.
On our show.
Did he?
Yeah, on our show, yeah. And not just a win, a 40-36.
Wow.
Do you know something? I think Amon's lucky charm, because I think Dale's only got 3 wins on his record. I filmed 2 of them. So, did you film the one he won? Yeah. Filmed the one he won.
Because it's usually the one that...
I filmed his previous win as well. The only one I didn't get was his first one.
Right.
But Dale was having fun in there.
Yeah. So, it's I'm loving life at the minute. Everything's good, health's good, and I'm getting to, you know, see legends of mine. You know, like took some lads down to Ricky Hatton's, who was a legend of mine.
Well,
all of them.
listen, this is going to cut out because we've been talking for half an hour. Paddy, it's been a pleasure.
Thank
I'll
you.
See you on Saturday, mate.
See you Saturday.
For all boxing info, news and latest interviews, amateur and pro, across the north, click and subscribe. VIP Boxing Promotions. Also, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.